Hey everyone, welcome to Camppatton Family Compound. It's time for the Monday night Fireside chat, and tonight's topic is one that just about everybody here should be interested in. Animal feed, can you make it? And I got a very special guest here with us. I got Darren, Darren, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I almost said Daryl. Darren from Thorhaven Farm.
Hopefully,
I got a neighbor named Daryl right over here. I got Daryl and Phil. All right, let me go up here and hit the comments and scroll up and actually welcome everybody in properly. Uncle Al's here, and he said he posted to his community post. Shadow Scout Sweet is here. And, of course, Darren made a comment. Kaylin Strain is here. Go down. Moon Over Miami is here. Kaylin, thank you for reminding me. I screwed up. I had on my notes about including pets. And I got so busy with farm animals, I forgot to put a couple slides in on pets. Actually, and I also did it again. Hang on, let me switch off out of this green hat, which keeps disappearing, and grab a regular hat.
Hope everyone's doing awesome tonight.
There we go.
Glad you can make it in.
There. So I will talk about pets here as before we actually get going on the slides. Next one in was Walt Rogers, followed by Glenn at How to Garden. Everybody's talking. Prairie Rider, Queen of the North. Sarah Boss is here. Oh, Lori J and Prairie Rider are the same person. She's got two channels. She's in here showing double support. Thank you. Holistic Heritage Homestead, welcome, welcome. Checked off, how you doing? Let's see here. Lewis, it's the Marshmallow Man. And I'm caught up with everybody in here. And like the banner says down there, if you're lurking, fine, please check in. Just say, you just say lurking, give a thumbs up. Because if you don't, the stupid AI, yeah, it's a stupid AI. It's not very intelligent. Thinks you're a bot. And they reprogram it. So if someone's watching and you don't say hi or just make a comment and do a thumbs up or a thumbs down, oh, it's a bot. We're not going to count those hours. Every way they can to mess with us. All righty. So before I jump into the other part, which I have slides for, pets. And like Kaylin said, unless she has a cat, and she said unless it's opening a can of tuna or a can of chicken. Well, the thing is, though, Kaylin, if you have a small pressure canner, or if you wanted to spend 4 hours doing a water bath canner, you can can fish, chicken, turkey, beef, whatever it is to make your own dog food or cat food for your cat. And for those that have dogs, same thing. Interesting fact, how many know was Alpo? Is it Alpo? I believe it was Alpo. Was supposed to be a contender against Dinty Moore beef stew. It was going to be a beef stew factory. Well, the contractor screwed up, and on the bearings for the can lines and stuff, didn't install the bearings that had food grade grease in it. So all the bearings throughout the entire factory did not have food grade grease. And when the inspector found out, he goes, oh, nope, you cannot do human food here. Okay, so they quickly changed gears and changed marketing and went from Alpo or whatever the name was going to be for beef stew to dog food. And the first runs looked like beef stew because that's what they were set up for. And then later on, they changed it around a little bit and got things a little different. And Joe at Garden State Gardener is in the house. And if you guys aren't following Joe, check him out. He's doing several seed giveaways. He has the 100 Day of Seeds on YouTube. He has the 100 Days, I think it's a different one, over on Facebook. And then he's, I thought he mentioned something about Instagram too. And then he and Courtney, White Family Farmer, setting up a new channel now. Grow Big, something or other. I got it saved. I just, it's one of those things. So, but of course, if you are not subscribed to Thorhaven Farm, do so. His latest videos have been really interesting for me. I didn't know you had that much sand for your soil up there.
It's sand. Like we could fill kids' sandboxes and, no problem. We could hook up a beach. If we had some water, we could do a beach, no problem. Yeah.
There it is. Grow Big TV. There. Come on. Show it. There it is. That jumped on me. There it is. Grow Big TV. The chat suddenly started flying by. And Brenda Duncan 1900 Homestead is in the house. All right. So when it comes to pets, certain pets, you can can food if your cat really loves loves wet, not dry foods. You can do it. Heck, I know more than a few dogs that just go absolutely ape over meatloaf. The leftover meatloaf. And in fact, the one dog my sister had was notorious for sneaking into the dining room when the meatloaf thing was on there and grabbing the plate and yanking it off the table.
What we do too is anytime we cook a chicken or a roast or something like that, we always save the juice itself. If we're not making gravy or something, we always save it and use it to feed the dogs as well. They go nuts for that.
Yeah. And the one thing I haven't looked into, because I haven't had a pet dog before I got married, so I've been married for over 35 years. And it was probably another 10 years before that when my dog died, and I just didn't want to have another pet again. And but I have seen and heard of some of the homesteaders making dry dog food. So there is a recipe out there for those of you who had dogs and want to do it. And here, and the juices are from cooking like that are good on the dry dog food to soften it up for them and really act as a treat for them. Okay, what did I miss here? Keep cat dog food around us as backup. If food is stolen, confiscated by okay. They may leave the dog and cat food alone. Yeah, and especially like I said, the only thing wrong with the Alpo back in the beginning was the bearings on the where all the cans were rolling along had the wrong type grease in them. They were sealed bearings, but they had the wrong type grease in them. All right, check the chat there. Okay, so let's so we talked about pets. Now, with some pets, we will talk a little bit in what we're going to do here for like if you have parakeets, cockatiels, cockatoos, pigeons. Some of the stuff here applies to them as well. So let's switch over here to this. Animal feed, can you make it? And of course, this is a corn cracker here. And the part about cracking corn, I got to throw a shout out to Modern Refugee, because I had this on the schedule about making animal feed, and then he does a video about a week ago showing how to crack corn old school way, because he says you can buy corn cheaper than you can crack corn, obviously because they don't have to crack it, and he says you can crack it yourself and save money.
Up here, I think it's same price for crushed corn or regular corn.
Yeah. But then also there's some places around you can pick up, dried corn on the cob still.
Yeah.
And actually, I forget when it was. I think Uncle Al was up here when we were doing that one. I had some stills and some videos of people running for a corn stripper, stripping it off the cob where you put in and do that as well. But so this here is I guess Davis is a popular one because I found old pictures, new pictures, all these, a bunch of the Davis corn crackers. And
with corn, you have to remember too, some animals don't like corn. They're allergic to it. Yeah. Our Basset Hound does not do well with corn. So
yeah, and there's several other breeds of dogs that don't like corn either. Yeah. And what is one of the main things they stick in dog food?
Corn and grain. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's see the next one here. So here's an old school hand one here. And this one, it depends how tight you do it to how fine the corn is, whether it's cornmeal or cracked corn. And here's one of the ones that, small motor. This is real old school. I'm looking at the way that thing's wired up there. I mean, that looks like something my uncle and dad would have done back in the 60s. And you can do that. Of course, then so the way this one's set up, you can put a big handle on there and do the hand crank too. And there's that wheel spinning fast, so you can't see it. But yeah, so there's another. And some of these old ones, there's nothing wrong with it. You can find them at estate sales or in someone's abandoned barn somewhere. They'll probably pay you to take it away.
We've got a hand crank manual one that will do corn, will do wheat, that sort of thing, and works really well too. Adjustable too, so you can get the different sizes you want through it.
Exactly. Al's back in the house. Oh, and Brenda has an old hand crank corn stripper. Yes.
Nice.
Very nice. If I ever can get the field across the street, an acre of it to grow corn, then that will be one of the things we'll be getting. Either that, or we'll wind up we'll finally go ahead and do pigs and just toss the whole husk and everything in there to the pigs.
Yeah, exactly. To basically silage for them.
Yeah, and which means you save the stalks and everything for the pig.
We did it this year with our corn because it didn't grow up that big. So we just chopped it up and fed it to the pigs. So they loved it.
And that reminds me, I'm trying to remember the channel. Oh, shoot. It's a homesteading channel, obviously. Bigger than I am. So, I think they're like at 15 or 20,000 subscribers, maybe. And they did a video several weeks back on harvesting their sorghum.
Okay.
And they cut down the sorghum carefully, and then they were pruning off the seed pod and saving it to seed next year's. And then they were running it through a machine, and they're showing how to do it, and where it squeezes the juice out of it. And so they're saving the juice for like syrup. And then the rest of it was silage for the animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it was not Doug and Stacy. They're a younger couple than me, and my wife, and they got some teenage kids and some pre-teenage kids, I believe, too. I wish I could remember what it was. And it was about 2-3 weeks ago. That's how busy I've been. I see stuff cool. And I'll come back to it when I need that. But there's someone I'm subscribed to, so I got there. If I go through my subscription list, that's who it is.
And that's the thing. You don't always have to make your own feed. You can grow it as well. So
yeah,
a lot of the times, like we didn't have a good year this year, but last year we grew extra turnips, and we used those for the pigs. A lot of the greens that we take off, so the carrot tops, the turnip tops, radish tops, all that goes to our pigs as well. So you've always got something coming up that you can feed the pigs as well.
Yeah.
And then don't forget that all your kitchen scraps as well can go to basically the pigs or the chickens, that sort of thing. So
yeah. And I'll get to a point here when we talk about the pigs here, but this is an oat roller. So you can use this to, because some animals don't like whole oats. And when we had 2 dairy cows, they were Guernsey Jersey mixes, and my dad would feed them at milking time. Had one of those big scoopers, hand scoopers, I'll give them a scoop of oats with molasses on it. And he actually got hold of, I was talking to Darren before, and he actually got hold of a bunch of bad rolled oats. They were already rolled, and got hold of some molasses in some 15-gallon barrels. And we made our own rolled molasses to feed the cows. And so you can do that yourself. And this is one that basically it was set up for people. But hey, if you're rolling the oats for yourself, you can roll some oats for the chickens or the quail if you're raising quail indoor, or whatever animals that would eat the rolled oats. And Mary Beth is in the house. Hey. Yeah, and they're talking about no onions for goats either. Goats that eat tin cans don't like onions. Don't agree with them. All right, so this is going to be something that we may be looking at after my wife retires. Apples. Apple trees. I mean, my wife is constantly taking over 5-gallon buckets of apples to the Shetland ponies across the road. They got 4 of them over there. And John knows about it. And he goes, yeah, if you can leave the buckets out there, tie wire them to the fence so people don't walk off with them. But if they come to want to feed the horses, they can feed them apples rather than pulling up the weeds and trying to feed the horses the weeds.
Nice.
Hey, Shawnee. Hey, Chipper. And so if you have a lot of apples and you're storing them, and basically the next thing is to put more, like this picture here, is to put more straw, another layer of straw, more apples, another layer of straw, more apples, and like that. And if you happen to have a lot of newspaper, you should roll them up in a piece of newspaper too, and stack them closer together as well. But storing your apples, you can make feed for a lot of animals: goats, pigs, chickens. Cut them up. The geese and ducks will eat it too. The turkeys will pick at them whole. Heck, horses eat them.
You want to make sure you use this stuff before. So use your cores, use your skins. You can dry the skins. You can use the cores to make apple cider vinegar. Mm-hmm. Like tons of stuff you can do with that. And then once you're done, even making apple juice and all that, feed the scraps to the pigs and chickens afterwards.
Or if you happen to have boys or girls the age of my grandsons, and they'll sneak in, grab an apple, eat half of it, stick it under the chair, couch to hide it. All right, this is going to the chickens. That's always over there. And here too, it's like they'll grab one off the counter after my wife brings a bunch of apples up from California. The kids eat half an apple, and except for Oliver, who eats a quarter of an apple. He picks the biggest apple, eats a quarter of it, and then puts it somewhere. And so, when they go home, it's like, all right, here's a bag. Here's the apples you guys ate part of. Go feed them to the chickens. And I would bet quail would love apples too. Just about any bird would.
Yeah.
Because I know the blue jays and the mockingbirds love to pick on the apples. And let's see the next one here. This one I thought was really cool. because I've been hearing everybody talk about hardening their squash right now, whether it's butternut, zucchini, whatever type of squash it is, hardening the squash, and and then it'll keep all winter long. My daughter did hers a couple of years back, and it went like a year and a half in the basement, and she was still cutting into the stuff, and it was still good.
Nice.
And interesting, if you grow patty pan squash and you have goats or cows, be careful. If they sniff out patty pans, they'll do anything to get out into the garden to eat those patty pans. Our milk cows used to gorge themselves when they get out into the garden eating all the patty pan squash. And Glenn did a video. He fed papaya to his chicken or to his chickens this week. Yeah, you can make your own food by just growing it.
Yeah. We did that last year, the year before. Last year, I think it was. We did, it was probably, I want to say it was 15 feet by 50 feet of wheat that we kind of grew accidentally. So we did, we planted potatoes. We used the roost out method, and we used straw mulch that we did not age. So we knew the wheat was going to come up anyway, because the same thing happens with straw hay. If you don't age it, all those seeds are still ready to go. So we mulched it, and the seeds got planted because of that, and up pops all the wheat, and the chickens just went nuts for that. I had to fence it off to keep them out, because we were going to see what it would take to make our own bread from that area. But the chickens absolutely loved it. So it gave them something to do as well as something to eat at the same time. And
I bet you there was a whole bunch of bugs and stuff in there too.
Yep.
And so they saw the granary, went after the granary, and there's meat in here too. We got vegetable and meat.
Mulch around and finding all the little critters and bugs, and that was the other thing you can do. What I saw someone do was, most people have probably seen it if they've watched any chicken videos, is basically taking a pail, 5-gallon pail, and you just put in some dead stuff or that sort of thing. Even if you have a chicken that dies, throw it in that pail. The flies will come in, maggots will start happening, and start falling out the holes in the bucket. And then the chickens just love that. So they'll go running after all those maggots that keep falling out of the bucket.
Yeah. And chickens will eat dead chickens.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. They are omnivores. They're cannibals.
Yeah. Yeah. You can throw them any of that kind of stuff. We do that with our chickens and pigs. It kind of, if there's a big helping of apples or lettuce or carrot tops and that kind of stuff, it goes to the pigs. If there's just a small little bit that includes, say, cayenne pepper tops that we cut up to make the hot sauce and other stuff, or meat or that kind of thing, then it goes to the chickens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. The next slide here I'm going to show was froze again here. There, I'm moving again. The next slide here is something I didn't know how to do. I've heard everybody talking about it, so I figured I'd share the information here. So harden off the squash for about 7 to 14 days by letting them sit in the field. This is after you've cut them off the vine. If the conditions are favorable, you can also lift the fruit off the ground and place it on in single layers and dry, like the previous slide showed. And well-ventilated spot and hard enough conditions, both temperatures of 80 to 85 degrees with 80 to 85 relative humidity. Around here, it doesn't get that humid in the summertime, into the fall. But what my daughter did with the squash worked just fine. Like I said, it lasted 18 months. Let's see. Chickens! Where's the chicken whisperer when we need her? Now, interesting, I found a bunch of different pictures and stuff. Only 2 of the pictures said anything about feeding meat to the chickens.
It's interesting because if you go out and let the chickens free range, they're going after grasshoppers, they're going after snails, they're going after butterflies, they're going after anything that moves out there in the grass.
I've seen my daughter's Rhode Island Reds go after the little garter snakes.
Yep, garter snakes. I've seen them go after little toads, frogs, basically anything that moves. They're going to chase it down and start going at it.
Yeah, the one made the comment of, it said on the picture, it said cooked meat. I'm like, let's see. I was watching 9 to 5 to Life when he was doing his deer video, and I thought I think he was the one that was mentioned about tossing some of the scraps out to the chickens, uncooked, and the chickens will just because they eat everything else uncooked. Yeah. And somebody else, I'm trying to remember, was it Ridge Life? No, was maybe, but one of the other channels was saying the same thing. When they after they do process their chickens and turkeys and everything else, there's certain parts they cut up finer and throw back to the chickens to give them meat, to give them the protein.
Yep, and we've had it where if we're butchering our meat chickens and our other chickens are loose, they'll come running over and they'll try and peck at the little blood spots or peck at the heads or. Yeah. Same with when we're doing our pigs and we wash out the pig and you get some small pieces of meat or bone or fat that's fallen off, and they're all over that. So,
hey, all the things acres, welcome. Yeah, I remember back when I was a little kid. So this is ancient history, back before Noah. I was, it was early 60s. I think it was about 64. My mom's chickens had gotten so numerous that they decided, all right, it's time to, reduce the flock back down. And so my uncle came over. My grandmother was out there. My dad was out there. My mom was out there. And maybe a couple of my older cousins who were 10 years older than me were out there helping. And they went through probably about 50 chickens that day. And, they kept chasing us younger kids off. Oh, you don't need to see this. You don't need to see this. But hey, we were sneaking up on them. And the next thing they know, they're looking down and we're there just staring at what they're doing. Well, how are we going to know how to do it if you don't teach us? But and the thing is, it was funny is, some of the chickens, they just wait and the chickens will come over to go after stuff. And all right, you're next. So they weren't having to chase them down. All right, next one here, goats. I got a laugh out of this slide because I've seen what goats eat. I've watched Daniel Arms and what the goats do on his property. Grasses, goats are not grazers, not like sheep. Now, if you have a lot of bushes and small trees all around, they'll devastate those. They'll clean out the here we have what's called Russian broom. It's a noxious imported invasive weed. Oh, they just go through that stuff. And one of the goats got out one time. They got over to the last remaining apple tree my son-in-law had been ignoring out there, and it actually was doing okay on its own. Oh, they stripped that thing bare in a matter of minutes. But yeah, they love trees. And when it says tree bark, the younger trees, oh, that's like caviar to them. They just straight to that. They were even some of the bigger trees. They were standing up in their hind legs trying to eat the leaves and stuff, as opposed to eating the grass that was on the ground right where they were at. The hay, preferably, I guess, alfalfa is what everybody says, not just plain hay or some other stuff. Yeah, they like grains because, it's nutty grains and stuff. There was a page I found. Shoot, let's see if I can find it over here real quick. I'm going to check the other one real quick here. Control H, go back to my history and see if I can find it here.
It's neat. There's concrete mill in the next town over, and they've got a section that is almost like they've tried to keep it nice and beautiful in that. And it's probably about an acre in size that they have sort of in front of some of their trains and stuff. And they have this huge kind of mountain built up with rocks, and it's all fenced in and nice grass, and they've got the goats there. Well, it's funny, every time you pass, you never see the goats really grazing on the grass. They're always over at the feed or eating the hay.
Yeah, because it's for some reason they like to go up to eat. All right, I just put a link in there. It's to a New Life on a Homestead, and it says what goats can eat. 104 things that goats can eat, and 60 they cannot eat. And it's a PDF checklist you can print off. But the funniest part about it in there, and I'm going to tease people. Oh, here's another. This one's to tease Steve. Of course, they're trainers. Chipper, you know what I'm talking about. Uncle Al, all those that go to Steve and his talking about Doritos. There you go. But yeah, they evidently goats love Doritos.
What they can eat and what they should eat.
Yeah. And then of course they love pineapples too. So goats love Hawaiian pizza with a ham and pineapple on it. But this was a picture from that article. But it goes through and it lists 100 different things that goats can eat, they can't eat. And it would surprise me the things they cannot eat. Goats, most common plants you should not feed goats include kale, acorns, avocado, pine trees, nightshade, cherry trees, plum trees, and that gives the whole list, including elderberry, chokecherry trees, water hemlock. I go through a bunch of them, stuff that I guess that goats would eat, potato weed. But at the very bottom, after they list that, not listed in this list for the PDF, there's a question: can goats eat chocolate? And it comes back, no, goats should not eat chocolate. Chocolate is made up mostly of cocoa, which contains theobromine, an alkaloid that is generally toxic to most mammals, including goats. The darker the chocolate, the worse for goats. Wait a minute. And they're saying dark chocolate is good for humans? We're mammals. Something else I thought was funny on that. All right.
Yeah, the cherry seeds are not good for really anybody.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of plants. Oh, eggplant. Goats should not be eating eggplant either. But
that's in the nightshade family, though, too.
Yes, that's in the nightshade, which probably means tomatoes as well.
Yeah.
Do I see tomatoes on here? However, cooked tomatoes change, but I don't see tomatoes listed here. But no, tomatoes are not here. Foxglove is there, obvious. That's poisonous. I know that from my mom. But
it's poisonous for humans too.
Yeah. So So it's going up near the top of the chat there. Just scrolling off the screen there. So that's an interesting article for those that want thinking about getting goats. Oh, my goats eats tomato. Okay.
Huh.
It must be because tomatoes are a little bit different of a nightshade in certain parts. So that may be it. Do they eat just the tomato, or they eat the leaves and plants? Because that may be the thing. They may be able to eat the fruit, but not the plant. He's hiding the hammer. All right, let's see here. Okay, so that was the last one on that. Yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about, which I didn't pull up any slides for, was pigs. And pigs are a little, the information I was getting was contradictory depending on which country it was. Australia and Britain saying, "Oh, this type of your pig slop and stuff is illegal to feed pigs in both those countries."
Yeah, they've taken a really harsh view on feeding pigs scraps and all that. I think because at a certain point in history, it got out of hand where they would feed pigs everything, and that didn't turn out well. So they've really taken that harsh view of, very strict about what animals should and should not get.
Yeah, and because they on both articles they were talking hoof and mouth disease is caused by them eating slop, and to me it's like, wait a minute, we've never in the United States had hoof and mouth for pigs. They always talk about it for cattle, never pigs, and pigs always get slop here.
But it depends how you define slop. Like, rotten vegetables, or are you throwing in raw meat? It's,
Yeah, it depends what's in your slop.
Yeah.
Interesting. One of the things that showed pictures of, one said, "Do not feed them this," and it showed watermelons. Another one said, "Our pigs love the watermelons." So there is contradictory information out there when it comes to pigs.
Yeah, we've fed our pigs almost every type of vegetable we've grown. We've had no issues whatsoever. We've seen no difference in the health of them. We've seen no difference in, how they behave from one day to another. So it's not like, you can tell when your animal's sick because they behave differently.
Yeah.
So we've seen no difference in any behavior of them. We've seen nothing. So
never feed pigs moldy corn. Heck, I wouldn't feed anything moldy to anybody, any animal.
No.
Although my son-in-law he has a thing in the kitchen there where all the banana peels and everything, and I see some mold start to grow on, and he tosses that out to the chickens. And chickens, I'm like,
yeah, chickens I will throw, like, we have a compost thing on the counter and everything goes in it. If it starts to go moldy, sometimes it'll go to the chickens, sometimes it'll just go to the compost. So
yeah.
But again, we don't throw that to the pigs, the chickens, and they can fight through it, pick out the good stuff that they want.
Yeah. And of course, with their scratching and stuff, it's it's in the dirt. It's going to dry out the stuff, and the mold's going to die anyways. And I was waiting for someone to be a funny boy and put this off. And if CR was in here, CR would have done it as soon as you mentioned pigs. But yeah, pigs are known for, especially some of the bigger ones, for going after their owners if they're not getting fed enough. My sister raised pigs back when she was in high school, and my dad kept telling her, "You need to feed them more. You need to feed them more." One time she was in there, and Mama Sal started, looked at her and just started charging right at her, and she got out of there, and she was snapping at her. And it's like, he was saying, yeah, they get hungry, they will eat people.
They'll eat anything. It's crazy. We had one of our water barrels that we have for them, and it's got the nipples on it for them to drink. And I tie it to the post with cargo straps. Well, they came up and they start eating the tags off the cargo straps. It's like, are you serious? Like, what?
Goats are supposed to do that, not pigs.
They'll do that too. Yep. But anything hanging in the pig pen, the pigs will go after too. It's crazy. They'll start gnawing on it. They start gnawing on our sty, the steps that go over the fence. Anything and everything.
All right. Howie's in the house. All right. Quick question, Howie. Are you going to be up for being on the panel tomorrow night for indoor prepper garden? Let me know, and I'll send you I'll make sure to send you the link tomorrow. Now, one of the things that I did read about pigs, and this is partially, I've heard different things on it. I think I figured out, got a super chat. Woohoo! All right. Thank you, All the Things Acres. One of the things I figured out from all the stuff I was reading today, because a lot of it's saying, do not feed pigs bones. And he went through a lot of it on it.
They will eat them. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. What I found out is generally, wait a minute. We got another one. Plug your ears, folks. It's time. It's CB at Hugo Homestead. And Garden State Gardener just gifted one membership here. And let's see who's going to be one to get it. And checked off got it. Woo! Interesting. It showed it here this time, but it didn't show Checkoff picking it up. Okay, so Checkoff got it, and he's now a member. All righty. One of the things I was reading about, though, they were talking. One of the ones that was saying don't feed them bones, and he went into specifics. Like bones. And he was specifically like pork chop bones, short ribs, spare ribs. Big, all talk about ribs and stuff. And there's another one. All right, Joe, and see who's going to grab that one. And Mary Beth Smith got it. All righty. Now, but he also turned around and said, if you have a really good chipper, wood chipper, you have to put it in there, you can toss them in there, and it breaks it up so fine that it doesn't give them the problems of splintering, like when they bite on the other bones and stuff and they try to swallow a pork chop bone whole or a spare rib whole or something like this. You break it up small enough and it doesn't affect their internal organs.
Yeah.
So that's some stuff I've read. Do your own research, people.
And pay attention to your animals.
Yes.
Once you get to know them, you can learn the little idiosyncrasies.
Yeah. Which brings back, I'm going to be tongue in cheek for my other channel, Gray Man Prepping. That's why all good preppers have an industrial wood chipper around, and pigs.
Pigs in a manure pile. It works wonders.
Yeah, it's sort of like, two-legged polecat. No problem. We got pig food. Now I missed it here. If when I got distracted, I didn't see if Howie said he would be on tomorrow, or if he was up to being on tomorrow night. I have an Idaho by my name. How did it know where I was from? I don't know. I did not see that. Scroll on back up here. See. So once again, Howie, can you make it tomorrow night? Are you up to it? I know I've been your videos. You've been hacking and coughing and. Hey, I'm just repeating what I read in my novels. And then, of course, since I liked it so good in several different novels by different authors, I've included it in some of my novels.
I think the key with the whole thing, too, is thinking about what the animals actually eat if they were free and living out in the wild and that sort of stuff. What would they be after? What would they be picking up? And then just try to replicate that.
I'm going to tick Howie off here. Howie, I know you love your sunchokes, aka Jerusalem artichokes. Pigs love Jerusalem artichokes. So if a pig gets loose near you, you can kiss your little field of sunchokes goodbye, because the pigs are going to go in there and root them all up. Oh, where is it? Okay, hang on. I got to do something. I just got to do this. I got to do tongue-in-cheek time here, folks. Hang on here. Where is it here? Green screen, images, switch back to get to this one here. And where is it? I know I have one in here. It was a joke. Or did I get rid of it because I didn't want to get people in trouble? Come on. Don't tell me I got rid of it. I think I got rid of it. Dang it. It was from a movie. It was a GIF from a movie. Something like Bill and Ted against the evil or whatever, something. And the guys there are putting branches into the chipper shredder, and one of the people that got infected come running up and jump on him, and he bends down. Okay, have a friend that raises pigs. He works at Taco Bell. Oh yeah, bringing the leftovers from Taco Bell. I'm thinking, wouldn't that give the pigs the runs though? All right. Checked off is doing sunchokes this year. Hey, I never said I didn't have a weird sense of humor. I got a very weird sense of humor. Doesn't mean I will do that stuff. It means I will laugh at that stuff. Oh, yes. Uncle Op. Oh, that was the other thing. Near Vegas, there is a pig farmer. Guess what he does? He goes, picks up all the banquet food they throw out from they have the all you can eat banquet stuff going on, and they toss it, and he picks that up for his pigs. And he has a lot of pigs.
Another great option is if you have any microbrewery close to you, you can go in and see them, and they're always looking for some way to get rid of the grain. So if you have one close to you, small shop, if you can work something out and pick it up every week for them, usually they're all for that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the brewery up here, the distillery, they use potato alcohol, and there's someplace here else that all they do is they process the potatoes. They make 193 proof potato alcohol, and then they sell that in the 275 gallon IBC totes to all the microbreweries around. And those guys then take it and make a vodka. Water it down for vodka, hard lemonade, hard raspberry lemonade, using the potato alcohol to make the hard lemonades and stuff like that, as well as the vodka. Gil would have gone right with my dad. Yeah. All righty. Let's see. What other foods? All right. So you can make food for your animals. You can grow food directly for animals only. You can grow food that's both for you and the animals. And you could you can go like Darren just said, you can go to microbreweries and stuff, especially the beer breweries and stuff. You can get the surplus from them. You can go to restaurants, get the surplus from them for certain animals. I'm surprised. I wonder if goats would eat a lot of that stuff too.
There's grocery stores they're not too many anymore, but used to be able to go into grocery stores and basically pick up the leftover veggies that they dump.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have gone to different methods of disposing of it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that back in California where my wife's at, the county has gone to everybody gets 3 trash. One is trash. One is recyclables, plastics, metal cans, jars, aluminum cans, stuff like that. The other one, which is the biggest of all, is green waste, tree leaves, garden stuff, all that stuff. Well, they started a few years ago dropping big ones off at the grocery stores to say, don't throw them away, put it in here. You're not going to charge you for this. We're going to take it to the county compost pile and mix it in with all the other green waste and to create compost for people who want compost for the gardens. So that's what they're doing. That's what's happening there. So let's see. Lori says they can't do that in Canada with the price of food. They replace it for cheaper options now.
Food prices are crazy up here. If I was having to buy meat, like we haven't purchased meat from a grocery store in, I think it's been about 3 years now since we do everything ourselves. And every so often we'll walk by the meat section or something like that, or someone will post the price of like steaks or a tenderloin. It's insane.
Yeah.
Even buying butter's like Canada. There's so many, and especially here in Quebec where we are, there's dairy farms everywhere, and the price of butter has gone through the roof. It's insane. Yeah.
The farmers market, and actually, geez, hang on, let me take a quick look at this. I want to see when the last one coming up here is. Okay, October 28th, which means I've got this Saturday and the next Saturday is the last one for the farmers market here in Idaho Falls. There are several farmers that come in with big trailers, not semi trailers, but big ones they can tow behind their pickups, and they got refrigeration units on them, and they're loaded with meat, and they are selling stuff wholesale right there, and they're also making appointments. If someone wants a half cow or a whole cow, they'll run it out to them.
Nice.
And the one has a portable butcher trailer, so he'll partially process it at his place. Go out there. Okay, what do you want? How do you want this? You want hamburger, steaks, whatever? And he cuts it up right there in front of him.
That's one of the big things that thankfully we do everything ourselves. So we harvest, we butcher, we do everything ourselves. But for a lot of homesteaders out there that are doing pigs or doing cows and that sort of thing that don't do it themselves, just getting a time slot to be able to take it to the abattoir or the butcher is backing up too. It's like you almost have to book it a year in advance in some cases that I've heard from people.
Yeah. My daughter has tried that, but it got to be too much of a hassle.
Nope, you just muted yourself. There you go.
Yeah, when it brings back the camera, it automatically mutes me. So I was just waiting for it to do it. So my daughter tried doing that just by putting the straw out there and letting the straw sprout and everything else, and then tried to move the chickens out there to it. But somebody, I'm not saying who she's married to, wouldn't put the chickens out there too soon, and they decimated it before they had a chance to grow much taller than this. He saw greenery coming up. Oh no, chickens out there, and she went ballistic on him. It's like, you idiot! They weren't supposed to. I was taking care of that. I told you I would take care of it, but it was coming up. Yeah, I wanted to come up to about 6 inches, and then let the chickens go out there. But yeah, actually, for talking about sprouting grains and stuff, checked off tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping. I got some slides for that for the indoor garden, for doing all sorts of microgreens for people. But you can, if you have rabbits. This is going to freak people out. Guinea pigs. Guinea pigs is a delicacy down in South America. Or whatever type other, animal you want to feed it to help, well, hey, if you're doing quail would go ape over microgreens. And I know there are several people that raise quail in their apartments. So, Chip, instead of using...
My coworker was doing quail in his basement. So easy to do in a small, confined space.
Yeah. The microcrop I got is all stuff that goats and pigs and cows will eat. A lot of peas, clover. Shoot, I'm having a brain fart here. But I specifically picked one out that I can turn them loose on, or I can turn the neighbor's cow and goats loose on for a while to take care of it before I go in to plant stuff for me.
Yeah, it depends where you are too, because for us, we can't grow a cover crop. We can grow our regular crops, and then it's winter's here. That's it.
Now, what's interesting around here is, because we'll get the snow and stuff and everything too, maybe not bad as you, but right now, some of the people in town are getting a little, because we haven't gotten any snow. We really haven't gotten a freeze yet, and we haven't gotten any snow, and we've gotten snow in September, and we're already halfway through October, and it's always snow. There's always snow piled up at the church on Halloween when they do trunk or treat. And some of them were putting out their peas. I'm not sure exactly what type of peas they grew, but a lot of them plant peas as a winter cover crop.
Yeah.
And if it gets so tall and it snows on it, then it just goes down for the roots, and it'll survive all winter long, like some of the grasses around here do. And as soon as it melts off, it's like, oh, here we are. And they got peas, and they're still getting frost, and we're still getting snows, and the peas are growing and stopping and growing and stopping. And then they turn their goats loose on it, or their cows loose on it, and they eat it all down. And then they go and whatever's left, till it under, and do their garden.
Nice.
When it gets cold, you can't grow the Peter pepper long enough. My dad was born in Indio, California, in Riverside County, down by Salton Sea. He, when he was 8 years old, got bit in the just above the ankle by a rattlesnake. When he was in his teens, he used to go out and hunt rattlesnakes and cook them and eat them as revenge. And he says it's like chicken. You do it up right. You can make rattlesnake and dumplings, and yeah. So lizards, I don't know about, but yeah, he said especially the bigger the rattlesnake, and you can cook it longer and slower, and he said it was really good. Has anyone grown mammoth red beets to feed their animals?
We feed the beet tops to the pigs, and we've grown turnips for our pigs. We haven't grown enough beets yet to feed to the pigs. We've canned everything ourselves, but if there's a point where we have extra, we probably would feed them to the pigs.
Yeah. Let's see. There isn't much. There isn't that
from Lori there about animals getting drunk on the fermentation. I haven't seen it. When we do a lot of our fermentation for our alcohol and stuff, we'll feed it to the pigs after, and haven't seen any sign that they get tipsy or anything like that afterwards. But I'm not them, but I haven't seen any ill effects.
Yeah. Trying to remember which. Okay, if you have too many apples, they will ferment and get alcohol in there, and it will kill the worms. Trying to remember, because my wife was talking about this a bunch and warning my daughter about it. You can't feed too many apples to the chickens, because if they sit around enough, they'll start to ferment, and it's bad for the chickens. But I'm just thinking, there was something else. You don't want to have your fermented apples near the rabbits.
Interesting.
So that comes from the staff sergeant. So when she was doing research for our daughter. Beets, really big beets grown for fodder.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So let me look back up here. I'm going to look that up real quick. Where'd it go? Yeah. All right, so there it is. Let me bring up a page over here. Give me a second, folks. I'm going to Google this here for you. M-A-N, where did it? G-E-L, mammoth. Mammoth red beets. And enter. Whoa! Yeah, I would say those are big. Jeez. Come on. This is from Rare Sheet, Baker Creek. Oh, look at the size of that beet. Yeah, if your soil was loose enough for that to grow where you could dig it out, wow.
Man, I'm gonna have to get some of that. That would probably grow great in our sand.
Probably. And the giant root is also used in a game called Mangold Hurling, played in the UK still today. So 100 days, full sun, sprouts in 14 to 21 days.
Nice.
Seed depth, 1/2 inch. Ideal temperature, 50 to 85 degrees. Spacing, 4 to 6 inches. Frost hardy, yes.
Okay. Most fruit vegetables are frost hardy, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
$4. You need the tractor to harvest those.
Yeah. Yeah. $4 for 250 seeds. Not bad. Question is, do goats eat them too? Because my wife's thinking about getting goats. All right. So she's putting the dogs out. So Howie, so you order from Baker Creek or rareseeds.com, and you get the Mammoth Red Mangled Beet, and you add that to your food for us. Add it to your guerrilla gardening.
Won't have to worry about buying pig feed next year if I grow those.
Yeah. And I wonder, I don't drink alcohol, but it makes me wonder, if you get beets that big and stuff, can they make alcohol?
You can make alcohol with anything.
Yeah. Okay. Byron thinks he had pigs get drunk off of fermented strawberries. So, Joe. So the from Baker's Creek, you need to see if they'll give you for the giveaway some of those Mammoth Red beets. I can just see Joe planting some Mammoth Red beets in the back of his garden, and all of a sudden, I can't get it out of the ground. All right. Okay. We're past the hour. He needs to go to bed. It's past his bedtime.
Past my bedtime.
All right. So if you want to skip on out, go ahead and skip on out. I'm going to read off what's coming up here. All right. So tomorrow night.
Good. All right, guys. I'm going to take off. Thanks again, Gil, for having me. Hope everyone.
Thank you for coming up here.
Learned a little bit tonight. I know I did. So
I learned a lot from you tonight.
Take care.
That's what this is. Half the time I'm learning from everybody in the side chat and from the guests.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part about this is like everyone's always got some great input. So
Oh, hang on. All right. Gear is pretending he is CR.
Oh,
sounds like you can't beat it.
CR joke there.
Yeah. All right. See you around there. All right. So coming up tomorrow night over on Gray Man Prepping, indoor prepper garden. And I'll be sending the link out to both Howie and Joe. And now Joe's making a CR joke. So I'll be sending the links out to them. If they can make it tomorrow night, they'll make it up here to talk about indoor gardening. And so then Thursday on Gray Man Prepping is the Midnight Ride. Starts at 11:55 Eastern Time. Friday, back here on Camppatton Family Compound, more squash, please. And it kind of ties into what we're talking about tonight. You can have squash more than just for yourself, but it's going to be more squash. And then Saturday on Gray Man Prepping is prepping winter supplies. Don't forget your vitamins and other things as well for prepping that. And let's see, then back here on Monday, next Monday, for homesteaders, we're going to talk about what do you do when you want to take a vacation from the homestead. And there's several channels that I've heard they've been talking about things they do when they go to the meetups and stuff, some of the problems they have. So that's what we're going to be talking about next Monday here. All right. Now, So I may or may not be giving away some Amazon gift cards tomorrow night. I got to check the balance to see, because the wife wants me to make sure I don't go into the negative from what's coming in on the from YouTube and from the channel members on Gray Man Prepping. So I may be giving away a couple $5 Amazon gift cards tomorrow night. All right. And that's it for tonight. And just want to remind everybody, enlarge your garden next year. Start planning it now, how to grow more food. And we gave you some real good tips here. The sunchokes are good. The Mammoth Red Mangel beets, huge. And there's some other ones too that produce a lot of food for you and can be used for feeding your animals as well. All right, so see you tomorrow night. Gray Man Prepping, 10 o'clock Eastern time, and that's Gray with an A. And have a good night, folks.